Don, what about the players in the Premier League that have expressed concerns? Do you think they saw what happened this past weekend in the Bundesliga and those concerns be put to rest?
I think so. Not 100%. There'll always be a case where someone doesn't want to play if they're scared for their health, for their family, which is inevitable, really. And it's something that you've just got to hold your hands up and say, look, it's one of these where every individual case you have to treat it as that. I think the majority, the texts I was getting from players and coaches still in the game were watching the Bundesliga as I was on Saturday and Sunday, and they were loving the football being back. I think it's only a matter of time before the Premier League comes back. I think, in my opinion, it won't be June the 12th. I think maybe that's a tad ambitious, but why not aim for that? And if everything goes well, maybe it's the 12th, but I would probably be thinking it would probably be the 19th, the week later. But as I said, the texts I was getting from players and coaches still in the game, they were really loving life that the Bundesliga was on at the weekend. And I think it'll give the players appetite, the players that were watching, especially the fans. They're just desperate for any sort of football. But the players in the Premier League that would have been watching on, I would have thought their appetite to come back will be even stronger and even greater.
Well, will it be a surprise to know I wasn't getting any texts and messages from any players in the Premier League, Don? Obviously.
Well, me and Julian was. I mean, me and Julian were, getting loads of texts here, there, and everywhere. So.
Well, I try not to fraternise.
From Frank, from your good buddy Frank.
I try not to fraternise with these egotistical players these days. But the interesting thing is, and you and I talked about this, Don, last week, we're kind of old school. Asked the question, would you go back and play? The answer from you and I was a categoric yes. And I think that will be in the course, mainly what the decision will be for most players. But we can't, and I don't think anybody who decides, if there are any, that they don't want to take that risk, they cannot be castigated because everyone is different. Now, we see it as, oh yeah, we'll go, we'll play, put our name down. But everyone has a different fear. It's like getting on a plane. Some people get on a plane, not even, don't even give it a thought. Others get on a flight, have to strap themselves in because they're horrified, they're petrified. And so if there are any players out there, big name players, that don't want to play, I think it's going to be difficult to say, well, they're only thinking about themselves, because in that scenario, you do have to think about yourself and your family and your extended family. And that can only be a personal decision, not a club decision.
But I think they have to be convinced, though, Craig, didn't they? I think the players have to be convinced. Reading between the lines what was happening in the Bundesliga in Germany at the weekend, the players were obviously at a hotel the night before the game, and there wasn't any other people in that hotel. It was just the member of staff. So they were free to sort of roam in and around the hotel and do their own thing, as long as obviously they didn't leave the hotel. And then on the way to the game, they went in their own cars. They didn't get showered together. They got back in their cars. So there's a protocol in place where you could see it working. It is going to be different. It is going to take some getting used to. I was watching the games at the weekend like you guys, and I found it bizarre as I was watching the substitutes sitting behind the dugout in the stand with masks on. Then I was watching Haaland score his first goal, and he's dancing in the corner, not celebrating. Yet there's players grappling at corners and free kicks. So it is just going to be a little bit brand new, and it's going to be different, and it's going to be strange on the eye for everyone watching. But as I said, we've got football back, and I bet everyone, I think 99% of, people that love football are so glad that it's back.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.